Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Jerry Gashohi from Psychology Department, Egerton University, and I'm here to present on psychosocial support for the students proceeding on teaching practice. And we wish that you are ready and welcome because we are going to learn more about this time when how to behave or to be at these unprecedented times or unusual times, as we call these times of Corona. I want to share my screen so that you can be able to follow me and also be able to help you understand even as we go on. Thank you. So I hope you can see my screen on the other side. And okay, I've already introduced myself, so we move on. So the purpose of this presentation is to help you or to provide clear and safety and mental health guidelines regarding COVID-19, and maybe offer support to the students who are proceeding for teaching practice. And then we have the psychosocial support that involves just a range of care that we are going to, and interventions, either from the institution, from the faculty and peers, and even the family. So what is COVID-19? Now, COVID-19 is coronavirus disease. That is the full name. It was discovered in 2019 in Wuhan, in China, and it's a new virus linked to the family of viruses that are known. That is the severe acute respiratory syndrome that is called SARS. But now, because it was discovered in 2019, now it is COVID-19. Now, probably they say it was discovered in animals, but now spreading between people and spreading fast. And maybe it was in Wuhan. How did it come to Kenya? Now you can remember that the first case of COVID-19 was discovered or was confirmed on 12th March 2020. And then on Sunday 15th, the president ordered the closure of all learning institutions after we had a confirmation of 2 more other cases. And up to now, you realize that we have had partial opening, and some of the functions have not continued complete or have not opened completely because we have not yet gone back fully to the learning institution. Now, why are we concerned about COVID? One of them is because first, it is an epidemic. When we talk about an epidemic, it's spreading quickly to so many people, at very short time. And then we are calling it a pandemic because now it is global. It has gone beyond just the people, but even geographically to regions, even to continents. We don't have any continent in the world that has not been touched by COVID. And then it also keeps changing. Right now, we're talking about waves, and we find the second or third wave, or even sometimes a strain is discovered that seems not to respond to the treatment that was there before. So it keeps on changing. Then it has what we call high morbidity. When we talk about morbidity, it means it causes disease or it compromises the body to other sicknesses. Then it has high mortality. Mortality means it causes death. So you find now why there is the fear and panic is because you do not only get the virus or the disease first, but also it can cause death also. So, and then there's also part of the stigma and some misconceptions. You realize before we got real information, people spread rumors. They spread a lot of what you call misinformation and disinformation. And that was very important because sometimes you'll be told things that are not true. That's why it's important that you get the correct information. So one of the things that you may need to do to avoid all those misconceptions, stigma, and maybe fear that I have gotten it or I have it, is to know how it spreads or how it behaves. And one of the things is to know how is it spread. So mostly just because it is also in that class of colds, influenza, flu, it spreads almost in the same way. It is quite airborne. So first you can get it by cross contact with infected persons, either by inhaling the droplets which have been created or secreted by an infected person if he speaks or talks, sneezes or coughs. Then if you touch the surface where those droplets are, then later touch your mouth, your nose or your eyes with those hands, then you can get infected. And then we also have, if you get into contact with people who have either minimal or no symptoms, you realize not all people that have COVID-19 show the symptoms. Sometimes some of them are what we call asymptomatic. And with that, then after we know how it spreads, because it's all about getting into contact with the virus, whichever way, whether by either infected person or touching services or even material. Now, it is important now to realize, how do I know, or how can I detect the symptoms of COVID-19? They're so similar to influenza and flu and all that, and that's why we say it's important also you get confirmation. But they include, and they may not be limited to this. Why? Because we have understood that it also keeps changing. We find it displays itself in different ways in different people. But one of the key areas, and that's why you find every other place you go, you get the thermal gun checking your temperature, is because we have people who show symptoms of high fever, a continuous cough, sometimes uncontrollable. Then we have general tiredness, muscle aches, congested nose or a runny nose. There are those who also show skin rash. Others get a sore throat. Then we have loss of taste or smell, and that is very key. Sometimes you may not know you have COVID because you may be there asymptomatic, but you find you take food or something that you know you knew its taste, you can no longer taste it, or you can no longer smell something. Then nausea or vomiting, which also can also lead to, we have diarrhea, shortness of breath, pneumonia, and this is now where you find when people now get so infected and they can't breathe. Now there's that congestion in the lungs and they have difficulty in breathing, and they may need the use of a ventilator. And that's when you find somebody has to go to a hospital or a facility where you can be managed well. So symptoms of COVID again still continued. They can start from day 1 of exposure to day 14. So let's say you suspect you got into contact with somebody who had COVID-19. You can start, the symptoms can start from the first day and up to 14 days, or sometimes even less, and you realize sometimes you didn't even get it. So most people develop symptoms within 5 to 6 days, and then we have those even who have no symptoms, but then others who get just mild effect of the disease, just mild, and those are the ones they go for home care. But then we have those that have severe symptoms, and even sometimes it has proved to be fatal, where people even have lost their lives and or they have have what you call extreme damage to their lungs and some organs. So we hope it doesn't go that way. So how do we diagnose or treat it? And this has been on the media and many people, just to tell you this, that the best way to test or to know you have COVID-19 is to have you tested either through a blood test or a swab through the nose or the throat. So they have that a gadget they use more like a swab, and they just get right inside your nose and also up to your throat and get some excrement or some fruit, and they test that, and you can get the results after 1 day or 2 days, and you find 24. Sometimes it can even be faster depending on the facility. So you find, now you can know whether you are positive or negative. Now, we don't have any specific treatment for COVID-19, and that's why it's very important to realize that you can only be able to treat or to lower or relieve the symptoms. Maybe fever, lower the fever, relieve pain and some discomfort. And that's why it's very important to realize that this is not a bacterial disease. So sometimes people just go and buy antibiotics. Those cannot help. You can only buy, those that you have been told by a medical practitioner. If symptoms are more severe, please seek treatment in a hospital and get yourself treated. Don't go on by self-medication. It will not help. So what can we all do? There is a way we can prevent it. We can even prevent the spread. We can try to see whether we can also take care of yourself. So one of the ways, and some of the ways that you can do to prevent, is always wear a face mask. Now, I don't have one, but I have right now because I'm talking and I'm alone. But it's important that you get a good mask and you wear it well. And when you wear it, you keep your nose and your mouth fully covered. And we say avoid touching your mask always with your hands and all that. When you are removing it, use the straps and remove it well, and don't put it on the surfaces. If possible, put it in a way that is the open place that faces or gets into your mouth, does not touch the surfaces. Always have a mask. I've said I've just removed it because I was speaking, and now that I am alone, if I'm in public, always having a mask. Then wash your hands frequently with soap and water, running water, and for some time, and rubbing through. We say you wash the whole hand and rub through and make sure that the soap washes out all the dirt in your hand. If the water is not available, please use alcohol-based hand sanitizer. And this is important because if you just use any sanitizer, may not. And we have one here, and you'll find that usually it should be more of liquid. There are those that have, even as you smell, they don't even smell any alcohol, anything, or they are not volatile, because it should be after you have put it on your hand, you spread it all through, and that is, you can see the way I'm rubbing inside everywhere. And if it is having a good amount of alcohol, within just some few minutes, you're already dry. But that one which leaves you always dripping like you have water, then it has more of other ingredients than alcohol. It should be able to dry immediately, so that if you are even touching something, you don't, if it's a book or anything, you are not making it wet. Anytime you cough or sneeze, cover your mouth, not with your hands, because you may find yourself again using the hand and touching other surfaces. You say you can use a tissue or sneeze into your elbow, and that will help you. Or maybe sometimes if you can even do it inside your coat, because that now makes it not just being in the air. Then avoid touching your face if you have your hands unwashed. That, it can enter through your eyes, mouth, and your nose. And those are things we can do. Then avoid touching public services or shared objects. Like you are in a school, avoid touching the post, avoid touching the stair, the rail stairs, avoid touching those places. If possible, if it is a doorknob, once you open, go and wash your hands. Why? Those are mostly public places which are touched by so many people. Then avoid crowded places if you can, or gatherings. I know sometimes students, we like maybe gathering somewhere, we have somebody's talking or a notice board. Please keep social distance. And we say physical and social distance, a distance of about 1.5 to 2 meters away from the next person. Why? If they were to cough, if they were to talk without a mask, then you are far enough not to contact or contract it. And if you have any symptoms, please stay at home and inform somebody that you're not feeling well, because sometimes you can be very sick and you are alone and no one knows you are suffering. Let's say you've gone out for TP and you're not feeling well. Please inform a colleague, maybe to inform the principal why you've not come. And if the symptoms please persist, we say seek medical help and advice. That's very important. So when you are there and you are feeling anxious, maybe on this side of, let's say, the psychosocial support, or where you may need help, when you're feeling stressed or anxious, please talk to somebody, a colleague, a friend, parent, and even a supervisor. You can even call a lecturer. This is how I'm feeling. Please, what do I do? We will always be there to help you, and maybe, just to relieve some anxiety. And if you can, focus on what you can be able to control, not what is outside your control. When you keep asking, when will I do this? When will I graduate? What will happen? When will it end? That may not be in your control. Do what you can, and that's what we're saying. What you can do for now to prevent the spread, and you've been affected and others been affected, do that. Then take care of your physical health, please. go for exercise, mental health, eat properly, exercise, and think positively. We are going to survive this, and we will tell the story about what happened. Other epidemics have been there, and people have survived and told others what happened. So we are among those who are going to survive. So please, let's take care of ourselves, and we'll tell them what we did. So keep friends and your friends, contacts of your friends and family. Please don't be a lone ranger. It will not help you. So seek professional help, if possible counseling when you're feeling overwhelmed with anxiety. Maybe you're feeling depressed or you have panicked, you think you have COVID, and sometimes all the symptoms, only sometimes to realize you're just over anxious. And if you can verify information, avoid information overload. We get a lot of information. Please, if it's not helping you and it's not true, try to verify it and sieve it so that you only attend to what is important. And lastly, it's not the least, I've said keep contacts, if possible, of help services. I believe that there is every county has what you call response numbers or quick response numbers, because sometimes when you are sick, instead of using public transport, you may find somebody who can help you to get an ambulance so that you also do not be an agent of spread. Kindly look for the links of available resources for care and safety and for the people who are affected. And we are always there. Reach us and we are going also to help you. You can call your lecturers, you can call the faculty. We will always be there to help you. And keep safe, and we wish you well. Bye.